This was another misadventure I had during my period of having no driver's license. I was at a friend's place across the other side of town, and he lived near one of the local beaches. There was a few of us there that night, and we were having a farewell party for one of our other mates as she was leaving town in a few days. This friend happened to dabble into recreational drugs. My mate had some weed that we were smoking there that night, and my other mate had some pills there as well. She was giving everyone one, including me. Because I was already drinking and smoking, like everyone else, I thought, why not? I remember it was a small red pill with a shotgun on it. I'm not sure if everyone had the same or not, but at this point, I didn't care. I had other pills before, but this one looked really cool, I thought. After a bit of hesitation, I took it, and then I kept partying with everyone else. I was still drinking and smoking, and nothing seemed to have changed. Maybe it was because I was already drinking and smoking, so it wasn't going to work? I looked around at everyone else, and they seemed to be the same as before as well. I felt a bit let down. The reason you take a pill is to get some sort of high from it. Well, it wasn't happening. Yet. All of a sudden, everyone started acting weird. One mate was lounging on the couch, talking to himself. Another mate was saying she could see colours on the walls, and the indoor plants were swaying and waving at her. Another mate was up dancing fiercely to the music playing and was full of energy. Then another mate was just being over-loving and touchy-feely. Everyone in the room had something different. It was strange, but it made me laugh. After wondering when my pill was going to kick in, the next minute, something just took over me like I was possessed. At first I felt really anxious because I was entering the unknown. I couldn't stop moving. I just wanted to walk. I was outside walking backwards and forwards up and down the driveway. Then I went back inside and had another drink and another smoke, which heightened the effects even more. I was ready to go. I wanted to walk somewhere, but where was I going to walk to? The problem was, no one else was in the same mindset as me. Everyone was happy being there, but I wanted to leave and go on another adventure. The effects of the weed and the alcohol were now taken over by the effects of the pill. I told my friends that I was leaving, but they were all off their heads, so they didn't care. I didn't care either. I grabbed my things and I was off. As I was walking up the street, I started to plan in my head what I was going to do now. I was ready to walk all the way out home, but I thought about my mate at the apartment building. I called him and told him what was going on. He told me to come and see him, so that's where I was headed. Now, to walk from where I was to where I was going, on a normal day, it would take anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to walk, but because I had an ecstasy pill, it took only 25 minutes to half an hour to walk. I did take some shortcuts through the koala park, across the main drag going south, across past the netball courts, past the historic cemetery and nature reserve. Then I was a block away from the apartment building I used to live in with my mate. Although from walking from the koala park to the historic cemetery, I felt like I was being followed. I had seen a man following me the whole time, at times close behind, but then would back off again. Then I seen the man darting off into the reserve. I thought it was quite weird, but maybe I was just high, and I was on a high guard. When I got to my mate's place, he informed me of how quick I got there. I was still high at this point, but I was worn out a bit, so I was happy to sit. We talked about the party over at our other mate's house and what we all just did. He laughed and said that it sounded like an interesting evening. I then explained to him that I was followed for most of the walk. My mate said that he could have been walking in the same direction, but I did tell him that the man darted off into the reserve. He then thought that that was a bit strange, being night time, but who knows where the man was actually going. I stayed over at my mate's apartment that night, even though I couldn't get to sleep until 4 a.m. My brother came and got me the next morning, and I went back to bed when I got home. I hadn't taken another ecstasy pill since.